سلام، مهدیه نوری هستم و توی این ویدیو با هم میخوایم بریم سراغ قسمت اول از درس دهم کتاب American Headway سطح دوم. Our Interactive World. توی این درس میخوایم با هم دیگه درباره جملات پسیو یعنی مجهول صحبت کنیم. Look at the signs. Where might you find them? Sign یعنی علامت. میگه این علامت ها رو کجا ممکنه پیدا کنید؟ Look at the first one. English is spoken here. Where might you find this one? Cell phones must be turned off. Calling cards are sold here. Now, look at these three signs and underline the past participles. Past participle is the third form of the verb. For the first one, it's spoken. We say speak, spoke, spoken. Spoken is the past participle, verb 3. Next one, turned off. And the last one, sold. The cell phone. What is the cell phone called in your country?
Telephone.
What is it called in British English?
Mobile phone.
Do you always have yours with you?
Yes, all the time.
When do you turn it off?
Sometimes at night.
Now read the introduction to A Phone Call That Changed the World. Answer the questions.
One. Who made the first cell phone call?
The first cell phone call was made by Martin Cooper.
2. When and where did he make it?
He made it on April the 3rd in 1973 in New York City.
3. How was the phone different from cell phones today?
Martin's phone was like a brick. Brick یعنی آجر. شبیه تیکه آجر بوده. It was almost 8 inches long and weighed 2.8 pounds. 8 اینچ بلندیش بوده و 2.8 پوند هم وزنش بوده. Weigh اینجا فعله. گذشته شده weighed. The battery lasted only 36 minutes. باتریش هم فقط 36 دقیقه طول میکشته تا تموم شه. Now read and listen to the fact file. Correct the false information in these sentences. همزمان با اینکه گوش میکنید از روش هم بخونید و اطلاعات غلط این 6 تا جمله رو تصحیح کنید.
Unit 10, Track 17. The cell phone.
Fact file. Today, cell phones are owned by almost 6 billion people worldwide. In the U.S., 124 million are sold every year. The first text message was sent in 1992. Last year, 8 trillion texts were sent worldwide. Camera phones have been sold in the U.S. since 2002. Smartphones were introduced in 2007. The cell phone had become a multimedia gadget. Over the years, a lot of amazing features have been added, including internet browsing, email, MP3 players, video, and camera. In 2008, Apple's iPhone had 10,000 applications, apps. Now there are over 1 million apps. The most expensive cell phone is the Gold Striker iPhone 4S Elite Gold. It is made of 24-karat gold and decorated with over 550 diamonds. It costs $9.4 million. 133 million cell phones are thrown away every year. Some people believe that before long, all landline telephones will be replaced by cell phones.
1. 124 million phones are sold in the US every year. 2. The first text message was sent in the 1990s. 3. Camera phones have been sold since 2002. 4. Apple's iPhone now has over 1 million apps. 5. The most expensive phone costs $9.4 million. 6. We throw away 133 million cell phones a year.
throw away یعنی دور انداختن. میگه ما سالی 133 میلیون تلفن رو میندازیم دور. Now let's talk about the grammar. Many of the verbs in the text are in the passive. بیشتر فعلایی که توی این تکست دیدین فرمت پسیو یعنی مجهول دارن. Look at these two examples. Cell phones are owned by almost 6 billion people. Cell phones are owned. ما تا حالا اینجوری ساختاری که am is are با شکل سوم فعل داشته باشیم نداشتیم. The first cell phone call was made in 1973. How do we form the passive? passive رو چجوری میسازیم تا اینجای کار؟ It's a form of to be plus verb 3. یه فرمی از to be حالا حال am is are گذشته was were شکل سومش been و یا شکل پایش be داریم به اضافه شکل سوم فعلامون. حالا بیاین اینجا اول. In simple present we say are sold. مثلا cell phones are sold. موبایل ها فروخته میشن. In past simple we say were sold. Last year 100 cell phones were sold. پارسال 100 تا گوشی فروخته شدن. Present perfect have been sold and future plus will of course will be sold. همه این فرمایی که اینجا میبینین فرم مجهولن. اما بریم سراغ گرامر. از فرم ببینید am is are was were has been have been will که البته بهتره باشه will be به اضافه past participle یعنی شکل سوم استفاده میکنیم. همونجوری هم که میدونین past participle has regular and irregular forms. You just need to memorize them. Present form.
English is spoken all over the world. 33 million cell phones are thrown away every year. Fiat cars aren't made in France. Where is coffee grown?
همونجوری که میبینین توی حالت حال داریم از am is are به اضافه شکل سوم استفاده میکنیم. مثلا میگه ماشینای فیات توی فرانسه ساخته نمیشن یا انگلیسی در تمام دنیا صحبت میشه. Past.
The first text message was sent in 1992. They weren't injured in the accident. When was television invented?
برای فرمت گذشته was و یا were plus verb 3 به اضافه شکل سوم. مثلا میگه اولین SMS تو سال 1992 فرستاده شد. دیگه اینکه توسط کی فرستاده شده رو نمیگه. Present perfect.
A lot of new features have been added. The bank's been robbed. We haven't been invited to the wedding.
برای present perfect have یا has plus been plus verb 3. مثلا a lot of new features have been added یعنی فیچرها و ویژگی‌های زیادی اضافه شدن. از بانک دزدی شده اما کی این کارو کرده؟ We don't know. And future will.
Many cars will be produced next year. The cars won't be sold in the US.
برای فرمت آینده هم will plus be plus verb 3. خیلی از ماشین ها سال دیگه تولید میشن. The passive infinitive be plus past participle is used after modal auxiliary verbs and other verbs that are followed by an infinitive. اگه میخواین با مودال وربا can, could, should و اینا استفاده کنین باید حتما بعدشون از be استفاده کنین و بعد شکل سوم فعلتون. Driving should be banned in the downtown areas of city. توی نقاط مرکز شهرها باید رانندگی ممنوع بشه. Should be banned. The house is going to be knocked down. خونه قراره که خراب بشه. And now use. بریم سراغ حالا استفاده های پسیو. The rules for tense usage in the passive are the same as in active. همه قوانینش مثل قانون جمله های معلوم میمونه. Simple present to express habit. ما همون جوری که از حال ساده استفاده میکردیم جمله های اکتیو که برای habit ها و عادت هامون صحبت کنیم و استفاده کنیم، حالا پسیوش هم همون میشه. مثلا My car is serviced regularly. ماشین من به صورت regular سرویس میشه. Simple past to express a finished action in the past. کاری که تو گذشته تموم شده. America was discovered by Christopher Columbus. یعنی در واقع معنیش میشه آمریکا توسط کریستوفر کولومبوس کشف شد. Present perfect to express an action that began in the past and continues to the present. کاری که تو گذشته اتفاق افتاده شروع شده و تا الان ادامه پیدا میکنه، میشه حال کامل. Smartphones have been sold since 2007. از سال 2007 گوشی‌های هوشمند دارن فروخته میشن. داریم سال 2007 رو وصل میکنیم به امروز. The object of an active verb becomes the subject of a passive verb. یعنی مفعول جمله معلوم تبدیل میشه به فاعل جمله مجهول. Notice the use of by in the passive sentence. و اگر بخوایم فاعل رو بذارین توسط by میاد آخر جمله مجهول. در واقع فرم کاری ما اینه. فاعل رو از جمله معلوم حذف میکنیم. مفعولمون رو میاریم میذاریم اول جمله میشه فاعل. فعلمون رو به نسبت زمانی که داره تغییر میدیم و میتونیم به دلخواه آخر جمله بای بذاریم و بعد کسی که این کار رو انجام داده یعنی فاعل جمله معلوم رو بنویسیم. میگه شکسپیر wrote Hamlet. شکسپیر هملت رو نوشت. حالا میگه Hamlet was written by Shakespeare. هملت توسط شکسپیر نوشته شده. The passive is not just another way of expressing the same sentence in a different way. ما فقط از پسیو استفاده نمی کنیم که بیایم یه جمله رو یه مدل دیگه بگیم. We choose the active or passive depending on what we are more interested in. ما انتخاب می کنیم جمله ها رو معلوم یا مجهول بگیم بسته به اینکه به چه چیزی علاقه‌مندیم که بگیم. یعنی میخوایم رو فاعل تاکید کنیم یا روی مفعول و اون عملی که انجام شده. Hamlet was written in 1600. We are more interested in Hamlet. ما میگیم هملت توی 1600 نوشته شده و بیشتر علاقه به این داریم که آقا هملت اون موقع نوشته شده، نه اینکه کی نوشتتش. Shakespeare wrote Hamlet in 1600. We are more interested in who wrote it. حالا میخوایم بگیم آقا شکسپیر در سال 1600 هملت رو نوشته. پس تاکید به فاعل میخواین بکنین جمله معلوم، تاکید به اون عمل و مفعول میخواین بکنین جمله مجهول. The subject of an active sentence is not mentioned in the passive sentence if it's not really important. واقعا اگه فاعل جمله معلومتون مهم نیست نیارینش توی جمله مجهول. People speak German in parts of Italy. یعنی مردم تو بخشای از ایتالیا آلمانی صحبت میکنن. German is spoken in parts of Italy. توی بخشای از ایتالیا آلمانی صحبت میشه. دیگه نمیخوایم بیایم بگین by people توسط مردم. معلومه که یه زبان توسط مردم صحبت میشه. Now read the sentences and change them to passive. این جمله ها رو بخونین برشون گردونین به passive.
One. Martin Cooper made the first cell phone call in 1973. The first cell phone call was made in 1973. 2. Almost 6 billion people worldwide own cell phones. Cell phones are owned by almost 6 billion people. 3. Stores in the US sell 124 million phones every year. 124 million phones are sold in the US. 4. They have sold camera phones since 2002. Camera phones have been sold since 2002. 5. Engineers have added a lot of amazing features. A lot of features have been added by engineers. 6. They decorate the Gold Striker iPhone with over 550 diamonds. The Gold Striker iPhone is decorated with over 550 diamonds. 7. We throw away 133 million cell phones every year. 133 million cell phones are thrown away every year. 8. Some people believe that cell phones will eventually replace all landline phones. Some people believe that all landline phones will eventually be replaced by cell phones.
Eventually means finally. یعنی در نهایت لندلاین فون این خطای تلفن خونگی هستند. در نهایت همه این تلفن‌های خونگی توسط موبایل ها جایگزین میشن. Inventions that changed the world. اختراعاتی که دنیا رو تغییر دادن. Look at the list of inventions. Which one do you think is the oldest? Which is the newest? First, let's check the inventions. The telephone. The printing press. This is the printing press. این دستگاه‌های چاپ و چاپ کردن. Paper. The ballpoint pen. This is a ballpoint pen. اگه به سر خودکارتون نگاه کنین یه توپ خیلی خیلی کوچولو اینجا میبینین که باعث میشه وقتی خودکار روی کاغذ تکون میدین جوهر بیاد رو کاغذ بشینه. به اینا میگن ballpoint pen. The personal computer, PC, television and the radio. Now listen and match the inventions with their years. As you're listening, try to take notes of the inventors. What nationality were the inventors and what were their jobs. همونجوری که گوش میدین و اختراعات رو با سالهاش مچ میکنین سعی کنین ببینین که مخترعش کدوم ملیت بوده و چه شغلی داشته.
Track 19. Inventions that changed the world. 1.
Paper was invented in 105 AD by a Chinese government official named Chai Lun.
2.
The printing press was invented in 1440 by a German printer named Johannes Gutenberg.
3.
The telephone was invented in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. Bell was born in Scotland, but he moved to the U.S.
4.
The radio was invented in 1896 by Guglielmo Marconi, an Italian physicist.
5.
Television was invented in 1924 by a Scottish engineer, John Logie Baird.
6.
The ballpoint pen was invented in 1938 by the Hungarian journalist Laszlo Biro.
7.
The PC was invented in 1976 by two American computer engineers, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. The name Apple was chosen for the company because it was Jobs' favorite fruit.
Now let's check the answers.
1. Paper was invented in 105 AD by a Chinese government official named Chai Lun. 2. The printing press was invented in 1440 by a German printer named Johannes Gutenberg. 3. The telephone was invented in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. Bell was born in Scotland, but he moved to the US. 4. The radio was invented in 1896 by Guglielmo Marconi, an Italian physicist. 5. Television was invented in 1924 by a Scottish engineer, John Logie Baird. 6. The ballpoint pen was invented in 1938 by the Hungarian journalist Laszlo Biro. 7. The PC was invented in 1976 by two American engineers, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. The name Apple was chosen for the company because it was Jobs' favorite fruit.
Now, read all things online. Complete the sentences with the correct passive form. اول بیاین اینو بخونین، جاهای خالیشو با شکل درست مجهول کامل کنین. Here you have got two options. اینجا دو تا آپشن داریم. فعلا ما با آپشناش کاری نداریم. فقط میخوایم جوابا رو چک بکنیم. For example, over 100 billion این احتمالاً یکیش بوده 100 million emails are sent every day. چون every day پس are sent. یه چیز روتینه. 2. Nearly 3.5 million or billion queries are searched by Google every day. باز چون everyday و روتینه are searched. Query یعنی question. 3. eBay was invented in 1985 or 1999 by Pierre Omidyar, a French scientist. چون رفتیم تو گذشته شد was invented. 4. Nearly 5 or 10 billion items have been sold on eBay since it began. از وقتی شروع شده تا الان پس میشه present perfect. 5. 30,000 or 60,000 new video clips are posted on YouTube every week. برای اینکه هر هفته است روتینه. مجهول روتین میخوایم. 6. The first Twitter message was sent by American businessman Jack Dorsey in 2006 or 2009. 7. Facebook has been translated into 29 or 79 languages since it began. 8. The online store Amazon.com was founded by Jeff Bezos in his garage in 1989 or 1994. فعل found به معنی بنیانگذاری شدن و پایه‌گذاری شدنه. خودش میشه found، گذشتش founded، فعل سومش هم founded. اینو با find اشتباه نگیریم به معنی پیدا کردن که شکل دومش found هستش. این خودش یعنی بنیانگذاری کردن. بنیانگذار رو هم میگیم founder. خب Now listen and circle the correct answer. حالا گوش بدین و جوابای درستشو خط بکشید.
Track 20. All things online. 1,
Over 150 billion emails are sent every day.
2,
Nearly 3.5 billion queries are searched by Google every day.
3,
eBay was invented in 1995 by Pierre Omidyar, a French scientist.
4,
Nearly 5 billion items have been sold on eBay since it began.
5,
60,000 new video clips are posted on YouTube every week.
6,
The first Twitter message was sent by American businessman Jack Dorsey in 2006.
7,
Facebook has been translated into 79 languages since it began.
8,
The online store Amazon.com was founded by Jeff Bezos in his garage in 1994.
And now the last exercise. Make questions about the information in exercise 3. حالا بیاین با این آیتم هایی که بهتون داده شده سوال بسازین. سوال مجهول. How many emails every day? We say how many emails are sent every day. چند تا ایمیل هر روز فرستاده میشه؟
2. How many queries are searched by Google every day? 3. When was eBay invented? Who was it invented by? 4. How many items have been sold on eBay since it began? 5. How many video clips are posted on YouTube every week? 6. When was the first Twitter message sent? Who was it sent by? 7. How many languages has Facebook been translated into? 8. When was Amazon.com founded? Who was it founded by?
خب رسیدیم به پایان بخش اول از درس 10. با همدیگه راجع به پسیوا یاد گرفتیم. بریم سراغ ویدیوی بعدی، درس رو با هم ادامه بدیم.